Advance and secure. Push out and secure all objective areas.
Hello everyone. We are here to basically watch the game of Squad Open Tournament Week 3, the closing game of Group B, Old Knights versus Arc plus 8mm plus Blitz in Mestia. This will be an interesting game since the in the group standings we do have the Arc plus 8mm plus Blitz in the lead, Black Holes and Flying Llamas in the second, and third place Old Knights, and fourth place EMAN. However, we had the Black Holes plus Flying Llamas versus EMAN at the noontime, which was like 4 or 5 hours ago. And the winner was Black Holes plus Flying Llamas, so they do have the 6 points. This table is not updated yet. So the only thing we know about this Group B is that the EMAN is having the last position, the fourth place, which is being guaranteed mathematically, let's say. But the rest, for the first place, second place, and the third place, will be determined with the result of this game. So let's go throughout the map a little bit while the players are being ready. On the eastern side, we do have the Canadian forces with the quarry tunnel entrance caps closer to the main of Canada. And on the western side, we do have the irregular militia with the armory and warehouse closer to their main. So basically, in the most of the games, in the competitive squad games, in Mestia, we do see a lot of combat having in the bridge outpost, and it is usually a place where the winner is being decided, since it causes a lot of tickets to be drained, and the winner usually gets the game also. Other than that, we will be basically waiting for all the players to get ready. So stay tuned and we will be back in short time. It has been an interesting getting ready part for both teams, because I can for sure say that the both teams are actually ready. So I do believe the both teams are being prepared very well. It usually takes a lot of, like, not a lot of, but a couple of minutes to start the game due to technical reasons, players not being able to connect or being in the wrong team. And all the sorting out of these technical things usually takes a little bit of time, like 5 to 2 minutes or whatever. But this time we are actually waiting for the time to kick in so we can start the game. So we will be in 1 minute, I suppose, starting. And both teams are giving their ready statements. We are just waiting for the referee to restart the server so we can basically have the game starting. Let's talk about a little bit the details of the map. I can ensure you that there will be mortars. Due to the environment of this map, it's forestry, not much of a building or not much of a place where you can place your radio or HABs. They're usually in the open fields. This means if the right intel comes that there's infantry over there in the rocks or in the forest there, HAB, radio, whatever, there will be mortars. And similarly, it's also crucial to go back into the backlines to eliminate the enemy mortars. And we will see how both teams will react to each other. Obviously, the opening scenarios are always the most important in general in those competitive games in squad. And we are about to go live. The referee is now being starting the server back again, and there we are. Let me just do some managemental things and I will share my screen to you in a couple of seconds. I am just waiting for all the players to be enrolled in their squads, so I don't cause disturbance. There we go. And here we are. The first round of Group B, Week 3, the closing game between Old Knights and Blitz plus Arc plus ATEM. If the order is important, let me correct that. It's Arc plus ATEM plus Blitz. If only that matters. Let's go quickly through the roster. We do still have 2 minutes and 10 seconds. We do have a squad of 4 in the Old Knights with Zami, Faro, Joker and Sakali. And then again a squad of 4, Varys, Shamani, Betoni and Rats. Again a squad 4, Narik, Eloren 20, Sampan 98 and Brick Schalke. And then again a squad 4, Hyenzi, Baba, Klobblau Nut, Mak, and a squad 3 squad of squad 5 in the Old Knights, but this is basically from DVI clan, Champ, Khalid, Noose, a 4 squad again from DVI, Chief, Groove, Taps, Dry Taps, and then a commander squad we have Rulis, Gypsuli, and then we do have a squad of 3 again, Jesuslan, Cicely, Klinsmann, and a squad of 2 with Shock X and Agent Kowalski. And in the Canadian side, we do have the Arc 8mm Blitz with the roster, a squad of 6, Bosch, Masu, Smiley, 1967, Dark Knight, 111, Sinfasterer, and Cheese 2.0. We do have a one-man squad, Corey. I don't know if it's intentional or not. We do have the pilot role. That's interesting. And then a squad of 3, Turley, Jerry, Matthew. And then commander squad with Blitz, Alpagox, Alisonmas, Daydream, Tax / Jan. And then we do have Yay Live, another 6-man squad in the Blitz, Arkham and 8mm side. Arc 8mm and Blitz side, Alpyreal, Jotic, Arine, No One, Rootless and King, a squad of 3, Matzi, Khan, and Mairi Kosvi. I hope I'm reading them right. A squad of 2, Chosen One, Yerde Kalmas, a squad of 5, Zach, Aquila, DVD, Mozzarella, Macro Ilale, and we have the referee of this game, Outsi, and the caster, Mr. Beatbox, which is he is casting in the language of Turkish. If you're interested, go to Discord, find this link. His YouTube channel is Mr. Beatbox. I highly recommend you to basically follow him. And there we go. Let's see how the opening will come up. We do have the Old Knights going to the southern side, to the warehouse and breach outpost mostly, with only 1 SPG going to the northern side. And we do have an equally distribution from Arc 8mm and Blitz, with 2 logis going to the southern side, and on the middle of the map we do have another 1 logi with a tap V, I believe. And then we do have the quarry with basically 3 people squads. So I'm trying to find where the first combat will initiate so we can enjoy the first contact. We do have rallies up between warehouse and bridge posts from the Old Knights, and we do have a very offensive coming up from the Old Knights also with the BRDM. So the first contact will be here basically. And the first blood has been drawn by the Old Knights with the, I believe, a light AT shooting to the infantry over there, and another ticket loss with the Logi.
Okay.
Such a chaotic opening phase for the game. Usually this does not happen, but the both teams started really aggressively. We do have the Matzi and a couple of infantries left in the scene, and Old Knights are trying to catch this bridge outpost cap.
Did we lose BRDM? Nice.
We still have the BRDM, and in the command chat you were able to hear if you lost the BRDM or not, but it's still here. The Old Knights are getting close to the cap, and Arc, Blitz and 8mm is trying to basically find a defensive spot in the cap zone while they're basically putting their habs on the behind. Let's see what happens in the middle section and the northern section. Pretty much nothing, no offensive from the Old Knights, so this is basically an interesting opening for sure. Old Knights became a lot aggressive in the southern side. Let's see what's happening in the radio and hab side. We do have a lot of Blitz presence over here. I believe Schalke was able to spot that hab and the radio. Still have clashes going around the bridge outpost cap. We do have the HMG being in the rock side, targeting Shamani from the other side. A really long shot. It looks like the cap zone is being now controlled with Old Knights, but we do have still the presence of Arc and Blitz around the cap zone. We do have Elronan 20 dropping out, and Ilerle is now having his position, looking to the outskirts of this cap, trying to basically hold the invasion of Old Knights. We do have the mortars dropping down. As I said, probably Schalke 20 made an intelligence run over here and had the intels to be transmitted back to his mortar squad, and now the radio is being mortared down. So it's a bad start for Arc side, Arc 8mm and Blitz side, but it's obviously recoverable, so we'll see how it will go. The northern side, we do have a lot of 8mm players, with Shabani still being there. He was shot from the southern side, and this info is probably carried to the 8mm. He's still taking shots. There is Yerde Kalmaz, and he finishes him off. So we do have the DVI presence on the northern sides now. So there will be some clashes over here, but most importantly, this cap zone, we still have a lot of heavy clashes. More to the southern side, in the hills, in the forestry, we will have some fights. I can see Zach is pushing. Bricker Schalke can basically spot him. Let's see his angle. Will Zach be spotted? Nope. Brick Schalke got taken down really quickly. I don't know where that was basically from. Mozzarella and Zach is pushing along the skirts of the southern side of the bridge camp. Old Knight Medic is trying to recover his friend. Zach was downed. Mozzarella is now going back to the northern side. He might get spotted. Nope, he didn't. He's pushing Loren. He got shots from the southern side again. And Elrol... Ah, fuck, it's really hard to hear his... say his name. Eloran 20. There we go. Sorry for that. Old Knights basically had the stability. They basically reverted the push from the southern side of the cap zone by Blitz. Let's see how the caps are unfolding. Warehouse is still not being capped, but the tunnel entrance was capped by the 8mm. So we will basically now waiting for the warehouse to be capped, and then the cap zone should be starting to be capped by the Old Knights. The similar info has been transmitted in the command chat of Old Knights. We do have the mortars, I believe, from the Blitz side is being starting to carry along. I actually forgot about the radio being mortared down. We do have some Old Knights in the now in the eastern side of the cap zone as a flank squad, I believe. And this radio was, I have no idea, but probably been taken out because I don't remember the radio spot to be here in the first place. I don't know if they were able to recover the radio by themselves or not, but I don't see the hab anymore. So it's probably been taken by the mortars. And another hab attempt from the Blitz side. There we go. They're probably, yep, their hab is back up again, but we do have the Old Knights proceeding to the area. So we will see if this hab will hold more for Arc or not. Let's go through with the individual plays a little bit. What's happening in here? We do have Aquila getting Mac with a small tiny flank. And then we do have Narek going on another flank from the most southern place where the map allows the players to go. We do have Daydream and a couple of rallies from the 8mm side. They're getting close to each other, but they're playing really slowly. As we can see, it's a forestry area. If you push blindly, you will be spotted first and you will basically take him down. Let's see how the cap zone is going on. Actually, this is interesting because no one is capping the cap zone from the Old Knights, even though they had the chance. They're basically pushing for the hab and the radio of Blitz, Arc and 8mm, which is a little bit of a risky move. But I guess they do believe that they will eventually cap the bridge outpost. So they're pushing a little bit more. We do have a lot of players from the Arc, Blitz, 8mm side. So it doesn't look so easy. But actually the players are not so much scattered around. So we can basically see the mortars are hurting more and more each time. We do have the Narek pushed all the way. He got the Zac, but there's Daydream in the tree. If he saw him, nope, he didn't. And it's an easy kill for Daydream. It was a good example of what I was just saying. If you push blindly, you will get spotted first. It's better to play slowly, but if you are in such an offensive stage, then obviously you can't really go slowly. We do have the top V shooting through the skirts of the cap. It's a little bit of a close angle, so we cannot really see. I believe he cannot really see too much. There is some forestry area. Mortars are still being dropped. I believe the hab was spotted. There is a macro ilerle which he is trying to hold the hab up and keep the hab going on. We do have a couple of old knight players closing in, but there is mortars hitting to the same area, so they cannot really proceed now. Let's see what's happening in the northern side. We do have the tunnel entrance, which was pretty much controlled by 8mm. We do have the DWI squad on the skirts of this tunnel entrance cap. Some tiny flank attempts, I suppose, that is happening here. Some little discomfort that DVI is trying to achieve. However, the most of the fights is going on in the southern side. We do have the Jyoti and Chief getting really close. Jyoti is looking through the south western side. Oh, I think he spotted. Yep. A good spot from Jyoti, even though it was a close range. The Groove tries to take the trade, but he was not able to. Jyoti now knows the position of Groove with those shots, and we do have number one, no one, closing from the other side too. It's a hard, tough times for Groove, and Jyoti is being taken down. Nope, he got hurt from the other's backside, and now Groove finishes it off, and number one finishes Groove off. Very well played from the both teams. Both trades are being effective. And we do have the King also over there going to the scene. I wonder if any mortars will be dropping over that area from the Old Knight side. So we will take a look of what will happen over there in a short moment. Let's see if the hab is still up. Hab is still up and mortars are still being thrown to the hab area. And actually we don't have... I don't see actually the hab anymore. Is it being destroyed? Let's see. It looks like that. I don't see anyone repairing it. I don't see the hab at all. Let's see what's happening in the cap zone. Still no one is capping the cap. We do have Old Knight people being killed on the northern edge in the skirts of these rocks, and we do have arc positioned under the bridge. This is basically a tougher area for Old Knights to control because of how much the northern side is being occupied with the arc 8mm and Blitz side. So it is much harder to go through from these rocks without being spotted. And I believe that's what happened in here. So let's go back to the other side. Everyone is still up. We do have the Jyoti, which he was down, being revived. Thus, there was no mortars in this place. Mortars are still up from Old Knight sides. Let's see about Arc, Blitz and 8mm, if they will have their mortars up, or maybe they don't even find it necessary to have the mortars up. I don't see their mortars, so maybe it's a strategy kind of thing. It's crucial to usually have mortars in here. There was a combat engineer in the most northwestern side, which has been eliminated by the Old Knight defensive squad. So I can pretty much say that the whole combat is now being spread around the midwest section and the mostly obviously the southern section where the bridge outpost is located at. By the overview look, we can basically say that the Blitz, Arc and ATMM did a great job, even though they didn't have their hats on most of the time. It has been demolished twice now. They've been mostly playing with their rallies, and they're still holding up. They're still trying to get this cap back up, which is a quite astonishing way of playing the game, let's say. You usually cannot keep up so much, and there was a really aggressive playstyle from the old Knights, which has been reverted, basically. I still cannot see if any team is being in favor around this cap. I see more mortars are being thrown by the old Knights to the another hab place, which we barely saw an old Knight player died around the hab, so they know exactly where this hab is located at. They're trying to cancel the spawning location. Oh, Alpagox got killed. Was it necessary? Let's see. Because it seems like the hab is being intact. Radio is not damaged. Maybe the hab is taking a little bit of damage and he was trying to repair it. We do have more squads on the flank side of Old Knights in the very northern side. Let's again proceed with some individual plays. We have Clansmen versus Yardakalmas, which they will probably be spotting each other very soon. And here we go. Who will spot first? Looks like Klinsmann got the kill. The combat engineer probably proceeding to the hab area to see what's happening. We do have the mortars. I finally found them from 8mm. Now he has this info that there is someone behind him and he's trying to spot. Let's see how this will roll out. Klinsmann is approaching the Tax. Let's see if Tax will be able to hear. Oh, Klinsmann got shot from a far shot, probably from here by Alison Mass, and maybe and possibly saved his friend over there in the mortar. We do have the hab control back from the 8mm in the tunnel entrance, and let's see what is happening in Bridge Outpost. Almighty, what happened in here? I guess the lack of the hab in the southern side, it didn't really work out in the long term for Arc, 8mm and Blitz. The tunnel, the bridge outpost is now being capped almost by the old Knights, and there we go. We still do have some heavy clashes in the southern side, but old Knights are proceeding more and more to the eastern sides of this cap zone. There is another radio placed by Arc, 8mm and Blitz, and the hab is being located a little bit down on the northern side, down from this rocky edge. It's a little bit of a more open field area, but I guess they have no other option to place it since they have lost the control on the southern part, and they suffered a lot by their habs being spotted all the time and being mortared down. We do have another hab over here which was spotted by the Old Knight team. It's being heavily mortared down by the commander mortar. We do have some casualties, but I don't think it will affect too much. Let's see if there is some Old Knight players closing in. I only see Jesuslan on the northern side, and we do have Yardakalmas, which is probably going to spot him very soon. But Jesuslan is staying stationary, waiting for these mortars to be finalized. He actually got hurt even, and Yardakalmas is looking directly at Jesuslan. A beautiful shot, a beautiful spotting from Yardakalmas. And I believe we don't have many more presence of Old Knight team on the northern side anymore. So well played by Arc, Blitz and 8mm. They basically pushed back this flank on the northern side. And now with the opening of the new hub on the eastern side of Bridge Outpost Gap, seems like Arc, 8mm and Blitz is pushing back into the cap zone. We do have Zach and Mozzarella in the rock side, and Betoni and Mac didn't see them, and they're trying to push most to the east, but Mozzarella and Zach is to their north. Let's see how this will play out. Betoni is still looking to the eastern side, Mozzarella is closing in. We do have Zach shooting at where? Probably to high and Z. We didn't catch it on time. Mac was down. We have Ilerle is down and Aquila versus Betoni and Mozzarella. Mozzarella is being now spotted. Betoni gets the kill. He is pushing to Aquila, but Zach or Cheese taking the trade of this short range combat. Rat is throwing some nades into the area. Not so much effective. A little bit to the side it was. And we have Zach and Cheese pushing more and more in. Do we have a radio in the tunnel? Over here, yes we do. This is the only place around here which you can have basically a closed roof radio spot. It's been actively used by the previous games in this week. Now we have Zami and Cheese. This is an important play by two players. Let's see who will get this. We have the Cheese. Zami failed to get the shot. Cheese lands the shots better than Zami in that place. And now Arc has the advantage. There is a hub which is not being built yet, and the radio is being spotted by Cheese. Do we have mortars coming from the Arc side now? Looks like that. Arc mortar is being targeting here, and it was successful. We still have the Zag in here, but I don't think this radio will keep up too much. We do have a lot of Old Knights players coming up here, which potentially they will remove that radio. It's been spotted now. I don't think there is a use of it. And we do have a very long shots coming to Old Knights. Let's see where these shots were from. That's a very long range shot from Tap 3, positioned very well, having a really nice look in the cap zone. I can still see mortars being landing in that radio spot. I can see Faro is doing something with that radio. I don't know if he is rebuilding it or destroying it. We will check in a short moment. We do have the Old Knights a little bit of in a, let's say, tactical fallback after they have been spotted by this vehicle from a very long range combat. We do have the Old Knights now pushing to this radio, and actually Klinsman, which we were watching closely 5 minutes ago. He got the radio and now waiting for this radio to be bled out. We do have another player that we were observing today most of the time, Yardekalmas and Klinsman. I can say that probably randomly the most active two players that we were watching today. Klinsman protects the radio still. We are having some shots from the vehicle, which gets Klinsman from the wall. From 2 walls. But the radio was gone. So I guess it's a success from Klinsman, but this shooting the stairs from 2 walls deep, that's a quite interesting shot, we can say. Very well played from Corey in that
Doesn't matter what
tap
we
V.
do, 'cause they don't
You can see the
know.
bullets going through the wall over here. Very accurate shots from there. But another radio has been destroyed. And let's go back to this cap zone on the southern side and see what is happening in here. We do have the radio still up, and we do have the hab is up.
Enemy habs spotted northeast.
Zach and Mozzarella still in the southern ridge side. We have seen Aquila and Rat being down over here. Mortars are being used. Let's see who is targeting those. It's the Old Knight side, because the radio which had the mortars of Blitz, Arc and 8mm was destroyed.
So, should we stop attacking?
Mozzarella got taken down.
Got a guy in south tower who will
We do have a very long shot to that tap V of Corey. Let's see if it was successful. It looks like the vehicle is intact, but it made a little bit of a discomfort, we can say, with the vehicle. Such a beautiful view and such a beautiful shot to Rat. It's a very long distance shot from this tap V from Corey. We have seen a beautiful shot from 2 walls, penetrating and getting a player of Old Knights. And now he's looking more into this long range shots of the cap, and he has been very successful of doing that. Again, the front line has been shifted a little bit to the eastern side here.
There's a vehicle watching somewhere not far to the hab.
We still have the hab of Arc, 8mm and Blitz up. Well, the radio is up, but I guess their hab was being mortared down. It's not active. I think we can fairly say that Old Knights has played a lot aggressively on the southern side, and at the same time Arc, Blitz and 8mm defended this place for quite of a good time, considering that they didn't have their active habs. More mortars going on that disabled hab. So we can pretty much say that both teams in skill set are now playing an equally, let's say, fight. However, the opening strategy of Old Knights, which was basically having the most of their team players pushing to the southern side, got Arc, 8mm and Blitz a little bit into the trouble in this southern side. At the same side, they had the entire map control in the mid and northern section. However, we still had the radio being taken down by Old Knights in the tunnel entrance. And I can see another radio being placed into the same place, and a hab is being built up. But I don't see any Old Knight players close to that place. Wow. Was it a hit? Nope. It blasted up on the tree, but I can see that Corey has been taken some damages with his vehicle smoking a little bit up. This was a very, very long shot. So it's really hard to make that shot with the heavy AT or light AT. So whoever made that shot, it was a beautiful shot. And that TAPI vehicle was basically pressurizing this open field area for a long time. And now it's been going back to their main base, I assume, for repairs. So they will have some more time in the cap zone to be relaxed and get to their positions. We do have Faro pushing with the hab side Elren 20. They are getting close to the possible areas in the most southern side where the rallies are being working on the Arc and Blitz side on this hill. I can see Aquila, and we do have a stationary protector. I swear there was a radio in here. Yes, there was. So Arc basically must have thought that this radio is not worth anymore, so they pretty much destroyed their own radio for the sake of the tickets. We do have Faro taken by Masao, I believe. Or I saw it maybe wrong because Aquila is pushing to there. No, this was a trade possibly, and Aquila is still trying to find where Faro was, but he is already down. Eloran 20 is also down. So in this part, Aquila will probably recover his friend. We do have Baba and Nerik down over here with Bosch and High and Z pushed up with Klaubau Knut taking the kill. So we do have a couple of Blitz players, Alison Mas and DVD with their rally protection. Beautiful shot by Alison Mas. Another grenade, probably from Smiley it was, to the area. Sakali is trying to get his friend up, but Smiley is having a push directly on them. Let's see what will happen in here. He didn't see it yet. Sakali sees it and calls it by the enemy and gets the kill. This might have been an important play over here to protect these rallies with the Blitz player pushing up and not taking the kill. It was a little bit unfortunate by the Blitz guys, but we can see how Old Knights is been suffering with this invasion down deep in the eastern side, and it's really hard to keep up without an hab or rally. So it's very well played from the Blitz and Arc side, we can say. At least they're still protecting their rallies. We do have the Old Knights closing in. And we do have more Blitz guys coming from the northern side, so this will be a really good push, I believe, because we don't have too many Old Knights players in the cap zone right now with the radio. Joker is he's rebuilding this radio now. For some reason it was destroyed before. We had the Cheese closing in and takes Zami, so we only have the Joker protecting the hab and the radio. Blitz and Arc players are closing in to get this cap zone right now. Joker is a little bit going further back to have a more defensive position, but now he's in an open field. How this will turn out, we'll see. Cheese 2.0 is closing down, and a beautiful shot by the mortars. Very well played from Joker. I thought he was basically going defensively back. Well, actually, technically it was true. It was a mortar from Old Knights to eliminate, but there are more players from Arc Blitz 8mm side coming in. We do have Mozzarella inside the hills in the most southern place. We can see that he downed Sakali. And he has a potential of spotting another enemy to his east if he looks to that direction. We do have Aquila and Zach also closing in. An interesting play by this two player, but they were both eliminated at the end. It is really easy to spot players, obviously, from the spectator point of view, but it's actually more and more tricky with all these camouflages in the area, with their clothes. It's really blinding you out, especially when you are sitting in the bush. That's why usually playing slow pays very well, but in this game, we have so far seen Old Knights aggressively pushing in and controlling the area. However, now it's being kind of turned back into them. That aggressive push has been pushed back, and now I believe they're suffering. The Old Knights are having this radio vulnerable to Blitz, 8mm, and Arc, basically going through the southern flank. I can see this rally is about to be taken down. If Smiley pushes a little bit more to the south, we have Joker still in the radio. Let's see what he is doing, if he has decided to destroy it or keep it up. Nope, he's keeping this up. Mozzarella and Zach has the higher point of view advantage on Old Knights. Nobla, Kunt and Sakali taking some shots from Blitz and Zach. We can see a couple of guys from the Arc side also taking some shots. Sadly, he died to bleed out. Aquila also died out. So, after all of these short-range combats we have seen in this game, now it is going to the long-range combats. Masao closing into Faro and Joker. Joker did a lot of activity in this region. I don't think he ever died for a while protecting this radio. We will check of his scores in a minute. But now we have Masao having the hab control over here. Let's see if it has been spotted by Old Knights. But Masao is basically camping this hab. He will not let anyone spawning on here for a while, looks like. And we do have the mortars kicking in, so it should have been noted down. We do have the 8mm mortars also up. I can see one of them is targeting over here. So it's probably... And Faro, which was revived by Joker a minute ago, pushes back into the radio and gets the kill. But we do have the Mozzarella and Zack on the higher point, which they should be now aware that there is Faro over there with the radio. And Zack and Mozzarella gets a Faro. Now we know that this mortar is coming from the Arc Blitz 8mm side. This hab will be destroyed in a moment. We do have the Old Knights trying to cover the radio. And Blitz side still in the invasion to the cap zone. Let's see how Joker did in this game so far, just out of my curiosity. No kills, but 14 revives in the cap zone with a couple of radio recoveries. Pretty good performance, I can say. Sakali got Mozzarella and Zack. Let's go back to the northern side a little bit. I always feel a little bit guilty for not checking these players over here some screen time. We have no one. Probably got triceps and taps pushing along in the forestry in the northern side. We still don't have too much front lines or too much clashes happening in here. We can basically say that those are technically the flank squads. I can see Klinsmann approaching to the same place of the radio, but he has two 8mm players in front of him. I don't know if he spotted them and playing it cool. I'm sure he spotted these two guys passing through the western side by 8mm. We can basically see more Arc players are advancing in the northern sides as well as in the southern sides. So players are now being, it looks like, distributed all along the map. We have also 12 minutes and 20 seconds left for this round to be finalized, and we do have the advantage in the tickets from the old knights. I possibly do believe that at this stage of this round, both teams will play as a damage limitation play style, and will probably trying to get as much as ticket loss as they can while trying to find vehicles, radios, and other some sort of stuff to lose more tickets to their rivals. I can see an artillery has been called by the arc side, and let's see how it will play out. Shots and Gypsy was probably down to the very first shots of this artillery, and it's proceeding to Zami and Sakari. It's going to be a movie-like escape scene, but I don't think they will be able to escape this artillery. Yes, they are unable to. More shots of the artillery coming in. Let's see the status of this radio. It's still up, but there are no more players from the old knights in the cap zone. The radio is now being deserted. There is only more players of old knights in the southernmost side, and you can see Baba and Mac is now proceeding their way to this radio to ensure that it's in a safer position. And a similar idea from DVD, Mozzarella, Ilale, Aussie, and Zach to invade and finally destroy this radio. Let's see how this will play out. We do have, I can hear shots. To where? From Ilale to Faro, I believe it was. But he's still searching for someone, it looks like. There is Zami on his vision. And there is Baba now taking this radio up or down. We'll see. He's still taking it up. Old knights are pretty determined to use this hab. It looks like they still believe that they can hold this radio and hab till the end of the game, which we do have 9 minutes left now. Zach is taking some shots to Rat. Varys is taking shots from Zach now. A medium range distance we can say, but both players were damaged before, so it's hard to make their aims more stabilized. Zach finishes Varys. We do have the Rat and Agent Kowalski getting closer and closer to Zach from Blitz. We will see a 1 versus 4. Let's see how Zach will play this out. Agent Kowalski finishes Zach in here. We do have Ilale also was down. We do have DVD and Smiley left in the scene. More long shots. We again have this vehicle of Corey. He was missing for some time, and now he's back in the scene, and let's just watch what he sees. We do have more mortars, we can see. Shamani is now being targeted. He barely makes the escape. Baba is trying to hold the hab up. And Shamani gets taken out by Corey. Agent Kowalski is also being taken out by Corey. Let's see how Corey played in this game so far. 7-0-12. Beautiful statistics. He was basically not letting Old Knights 2 have a general control in the area by taking up some positions in the northern sides. We do have a light AT shot went to the Corey. No hits visible on his vehicle. And now Corey decided to take some shots to the most southern uphill. Faro has been the target. Faro is down. Corey is spotting and killing Old Knight players one by one, we can say. 6 minutes left in the clock. We do have a ticket difference about 40. With advantage of Old Knights in the first game so far. A lot of players from Blitz is now in the region of this bridge outpost cap, with Nopla Knut proceeding more and more. Smiley was about to take the shot, but he was taken down by some other player. We are still having some shots from Corey onto the hills. And we have Blitz players having their pace a little bit slowed down with the presence of how many infantry we do have from the Old Knights team over here. We have more advancements of Old Knight players on the southern eastern side also. Blitz players, we can see they're about to go into the cap. However, they have some casualties also. They're probably thinking to take them up, stop their ticket losses, and then proceed. We have seen Ali Sönmez taking high and Z. More mortars are landing on the Old Knights. This is an effective mortar landing on top of Rat and getting him down. Beautiful mortar play. Another beautiful mortar play. But this time on the upper edge of this cliff, it barely misses Old Knight players, which they're being stationary. We do have Baba trying to get some kills on some push, some info. Let's see how Baba will play. He's now climbing up in the hill. He has spotted Aquila, takes the Aquila. He's now taking shots from the opposite edge of the map. I believe it was S.Fan Steerer with the MG getting Baba. That's actually a really long range shot from here. Well positioned, good shot, good positioning. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the round one. We can basically see that we have so far seen a very fierce clashes in the southern side of the map. Not so much was happening in the northern side, as I can restate what was happening. It was basically two clans having their flank squads up in the northern edge of the map, or let's say the middle section, with more presence of 8mm and ARC players. But however, on the southern side we had more presence of the Old Knight players, but with the cap zone controlled by them. And they didn't let most of the hubs to be active by the Blitz and ARC and 8mm players on the southern edge, which caused some inconvenience for the Blitz and ARC and 8mm side. However, we can for sure say that Blitz players with ARC players and 8mm players in the southern side played a really decent game by holding the cap zone, trying to get the Old Knight radio in the entrance of the tunnel, which has been sitting here for a long time, with only having rallies. This is actually quite impressive by the Canadian side. 1 minute and 40 seconds left, so not too much is happening right now. Everybody is stationary. Everybody is down in the southern side also, but there is no need to lose tickets, so they will probably stay down. Do we have any Blitz players left in here? I cannot see. Nope, we don't. We don't have any Blitz players left in this region. Klinsmann had apparently another attempt of destroying another radio. We do have the hab sticking out from the stairs, and we do have Klinsmann was shot while trying to climb up this hab. And he's pointing out to somewhere. Last 15 seconds, so I don't think too much will be played in the remaining time. I can see some GGs in the chat, so let's see the scoreboard a little bit. We had the advantage of Old Knights with the kills in general. They had a more offensive playstyle in the southern edge, which looks like it paid off quite well. And we had a couple of radios has been taken down also with the cap zone. So the ending of round 1, we do have 100 tickets on the irregular militia forces, Old Knights, and we do have 63 tickets in the side of ARC, 8mm, and Blitz side. And we will be having a 5-minute break for the halftime, and we will be back shortly for round 2. Take your drinks, beverages, teas, coffees, whatever you would like, and we will be back shortly. Welcome back again. We are about to go live once more for the round 2 of the ending game of Group B, Week 3. And we have the first round won by Old Knights, about 40 tickets. I'm not really sure exactly how much it was, but I will tell you once we got the official scoreboards listed in the tournament Discord. So, without to wait more, we will have the second round. I just need to do a couple of more things. And let's see. I am once more waiting for other players to settle to their squads. And there we go. Fuck. I am misclicking everywhere. Something is going on. I cannot believe. I think one of my keys got stuck. Whatever. Let's move to the second round. This time we do have the Blitz Arc and 8mm on the militia. And we do have the Old Knights in the Canadian side. We do have 70 seconds more to go. I can see the other caster, Mr. Beatbox, flying around. He is casting this round, or this game, in Turkish. If you are interested in watching this cast in Turkish language, make sure you go to his YouTube channel. It should be Mr. Beatbox, and subscribe, follow, or whatever you would like to do. I'm not a content creator. I'm just a regular player, as probably you are, just casting this game for the first time. But Mr. Beatbox, a little bit more experienced caster / content creator. Make sure if you are Turkish or no Turkish, go ahead and check his channel. And we do have 5 seconds left, and we will see how Group B will unfold after this round. Let's see what is happening from the Arc, 8mm and Blitz side. We can pretty much say that they have an identical opening to Old Knights of the first game. Oh, there was a crash of some sort, but not too much time has been lost from the Arc, 8mm and Blitz side. They are going full all in to the southern side, similar to what Old Knights did. And Old Knights are doing something similar, which Arc, 8mm and Blitz side did in the first game. One squad going to up in the quarry, I can see one logi down in the I kind of missed the first shots. I don't know if they were intentional at any point. However, turning back to what I was saying, we do have a little bit similar reaction from All Knights in the opening phase. Now I can see where they're targeting at. We can see this logi taking some damage with a Gypsy, but I believe there is not much of a vision over here to land those shots. So this should be basically a pre-studied location where ARC players, probably Cory. Now I can see him over there. Okay, let's quickly check how his view is, just out of curiosity. Sorry that we will miss a bit of the southern combat over here. Such a long distance shot. Yep, it's visible right there, the logi. A beautiful spotting position and beautiful shots from Cory. Now they know where the radio is. The Alt Knights will probably have some hard time once the mortars will be up. So let's see. ARC players in the southern hill advancing through the All Knight zone.
Tap V is on quarry.
We have a couple of rallies down next to the logi truck, but ARC players are advancing pretty fast, so those rallies will be probably downed very soon. We have only two players over here, one down, just giving up. Noblaknut is here, all by himself. First rally was down, and now the second one will be down too. ARC 8mm and Blitz is making a pure fast advancement, which we have seen from the Alt Knights in the first game. And we'll see if it will be having a similar play style as what we have seen in the round 1. We have seen the Canadian side suffering to place a hab or active capped zone placement, let's say, with basically an active hab and an active radio to be stable. We have not seen it from the Canadian side in the first game, so from what it looks like right now, we do have a little bit of a safer radio spot, but which has been spotted, or which should have been spotted by the ARC players. So we can say that a similar thing will happen over here as well. Let's see. More front lines in the north compared to the first game. We are now seeing 8mm advancing through. DVI tabs got down. We do have two DVI players, Groove and Triceps, on top of this building. They were targeting Alba Real from 8mm, and I can see King is now going to his teammate. There was some confusion about the quarry, so let's go and check what's happening in the quarry. We have seen from the comment chat in ARC, oh, they captured quarry, so they were expecting it to be not captured. But we can see basically two players, Joker and Tap V of All Knights over here. Some good shot from C. Seli. He started from the left side of this door all the way to the right side in the height of a human body, but he missed most of the shots, only landing probably one shot. On the limbs of Martiu, didn't hurt too much. One tire has been taken out by ARC players over here. I believe there is nothing much to see over here. No offensive assault happening to this vehicle, unless Martiu was taken down. And he was basically the only light AT of the ARC, which could possibly create a threat for this vehicle, but it did not. And so good for him. Let's go back to the southern side of the map. What happened in here? We see a lot of casualties from the ARC players as well as Alt Knight players. We do have effective mortars going on top of the corpse of Mac. Knoblauch Nut got taken out probably by Masawu. We do have new rallies popped up from Alt Knight side. We have the mortars being used from the Alt Knights, and let's see what these two were doing. I was curious about it. It's just a hab. I thought for a sec it was maybe some kind of like an HMG bunker or something, which looked like a good position to basically observe the cap, but that was not. So we have the hub of Alt Knights up in the eastern side of the cap zone, and we can basically see a similar heavy clashes happening in the bridge cap point. Tunnel entrance was capped by Alt Knights, so now the cap zone is open for bridge outpost to be capped by the Alt Knight players. Let's see what is more happening in here. We can see ARC, Blitz and 8mm taking a little bit slowly in here. However, in the northern side, we still have a lot of presence of 8mm players, with two of the DVI players still at the top of the tower. It will be really hard to see what will be happening in here if I go inside this tower, but let's try. Jyoti trying to climb up the stairs and take down Groove, and the Groove sees it from a little bit of a closed angle. This is basically all about hearing and trying to take the shots from the wooden planks blindly. Well played from the top of the tower. It seems like they got a little bit more advantage. However, they might have been stuck in here from the beginning of the game, it looks like, and it looks like they will be still stuck on top of the tower. They're just vulnerable to light AT shots, which is expected once 8mm figures out that it's not worth to push the tower. If they believe they cannot, then they will be probably using grenade launchers or light ATs to eliminate the threat on the top of the tower. We can see Cory came all the way up here from the northern side, so I suspect he is trying to get a similar vantage point as he did in the first game, which is basically having a really well long-range outlook of the bridge cap and eliminate as much as possible or create more discomfort for the enemy team. We can basically see Alt Knights are holding up to the cap. I don't see anyone proceeding to the inlands. I only see one flank from Klinsmann again. He did destroyed one radio in the first game, as I recall correctly, and now he's on his way to the warehouse to try to get this similar thing in warehouse. But I can for sure say there are people in the warehouse more than he probably thinks there exists. Bridge outpost was capped by Old Knights, which they had the control on this cap from the beginning of the game. We do have a couple of Blitz players, Han, Marikos and Matzi, looking through the southern side from this foresty place. I can see Mazi is taking... He was shooting at someone. We can see a rally over here of Old Knights, which is actually not the greatest position to have if you don't have too much of a northern side control. We can see Blitz players are now advancing in the northern side. They might be seeing that rally spot and they might be camping it very well, similar to this rally under the bridge. We do have more long shots coming from both sides. Both teams are playing really carefully. I'm trying to see if there is more flanks. We do have Cleansman still on his way in the eastern side of Armory. Corey is dealing with close range shots, I assume. There is more people being taken down in the cap zone, so let's go back to the cap, or let's quickly go to this tower, check what's up in the northern side, and then forget about the north and go to the south side, which is crucial in this round. We do have Jyoti reviving King, and we do have Khalil down on this hillside, looking to the southern side, suspecting more movement from the southern edge, while 8mm players reviving each other. More mortars coming in. Khalil gets the kill. And Groove is also getting in. Mortars are going a little bit on the side. Groove, can he spot King? Nope, he didn't. Maybe now they are both... Khalid is now going back and forth. King is going back and forth. It's like a hide-and-seek game for both parts.
Command, can you build repair station please on my house?
King took a little bit of a fallback.
In 1 second, I'm on the way, you know.
He's trying to flank around, knowing that his friend got shot before. There was mortars landing in here, and we do have Groove. Is he able to spot this reviving medic? Nope, he cannot. What about Taps? Is he able to spot him? No, looking at the wrong direction. What about 8MMs? Oh, Taps has seen finally and takes the 2 players of 8mm. It was interesting to see such a play from both teams circling around the tower for such a long time. However, it ended with Old Knight or DVI players eliminating 8mm players. I can see Mazi was trying a flank. I can see that DVI players were down. Mazi was also taken down. Let's see. Queenmans, the flanker of the Old Knights, is now proceeding to warehouse, but very slowly. But at the same time, I can see the Arc players, Matthew, Turley and Jerry, going for an assault in the most eastern possibly place you can imagine in this game, very close to the main zone. We have Marty, I'm pretty sure he spotted this guy that is going up in the front, but he is just observing, collecting data to see where the radio is, where the mortars are, where the hab is, and most importantly, he doesn't disclose his own location. And
Guys, there's no hub at Outpost Breach. Inside the tunnel. This is where the mortar.
we have seen,
It's gonna be near the moon.
or we have heard, a huge blast somewhere here. I'm not really sure exactly why this happened, but I guess it is what it is. There's nothing basically over here. We have seen from the Blitz side that there is no active habs. They cannot find it close to the bridge outpost. We do have a Logi traveling between two ARC players, Turley and Jerry. They still don't want to disclose their own positions. Marty, we're getting very close to the rally. Once the rally goes down, Old Knight players should know there exists something in here. And we have more shots going through to a little bit of nowhere between a rally and mortar positions.
After that, can you move to bridge outpost? Guys, are we pushing for the habs or for the bridge outpost? You should decide and focus on one single objective.
A beautiful commander asset of mortars illuminating all the mortar squad members of the Old Knight. This happened basically with the effort of Jerry, Turley and Matthew, with playing a sneaky game, flanking through all the way to the easternmost edge of their play zone. And now the question is, how fast Old Knight can use this rally, or basically use something to recover their mortars back. Let's see where the radio is positioned. It was positioned here from the beginning of the game. There is still some way through there. Let's see what the enemy, not the enemy, but I said enemy because it's shown red. Sorry for that. Let's see what Klinsmann is doing over here. He is chilling. Let's see. He is trying to figure out what's happening in the warehouse. There is a lot of player presence in the warehouse. We can see two of the 8mm players, Tux and Chosen One. Did he see them? Yes. Klinsmann is aware of these two players. He just doesn't want to disclose his position, similar to what we have seen from the ARC players in the other side. And we can see in the cap zone of bridge outpost at the wall front line has been shifted mostly to the south, up on this hill, and we can see the presence of Old Knight players more than ARC players, 8mm players and Blitz players. Mak is being down by Masawu, and Kipman takes the trade beautifully, but we do have Smiley, 1967, approaching to the area where his teammate was just taken down, but he is pretty much outnumbered at this point. Yep. He was outnumbered, not too much of a chance or not too much of a thing that Smiley can do over there. There was just too many angles for him to get shot. We do have the Blitz squad with Makro ilerle, DVD, Mozzarella, Zach proceeding from the western side of the bridge outpost cap. We do have Sakali and Zami against them. Let's see how this will unfold. Sakali is mostly interested in the northern side. Zami was trying to push, but Makro Ilale spotted and took the kill. And I am not really sure where Makro Ilale was shot. Probably from Brick Schalke or something. Because I quite didn't see how he got shot. There's only Sakali left in here.
Hapta düşen oldu. Hap içerisinde
And we have an info
düştüm.
by the Blitz squad leaders in the comment chat by saying that they got down in a hab. However, when I look at the map, I cannot really see a hab which has been invaded by Old Knights. So they're probably mentioning about where. Let's find out. Let's go to the warehouse. We do have 8mm players playing very defensively in warehouse. We do have Cleansman still collecting intel and not proceeding with a flanking option, which might be the smartest move because Cleansman from All Knights, they won the first round, so they have the advantage over tickets. So he just doesn't want to risk to go in here and try to eliminate the radio with this many players from 8mm, Blitz and Arc in presence. However, he is collecting as much as for his team. Let's check what is happening in the easternmost side. We had the Arc players advancing on the mortars of Old Knights. And we can see that Old Knight players, some of them returned back all the way to here to eliminate this attack. I cannot see the rally point of Squad 4 of Arc, so it must have been erased. We do only have Jerry, the medic, left on this scene. Faro is getting close, so let's see how this personal play through will go. Faro probably seeing the medic, not yet. He's around on the edge of that clip.
We need to meet
Turley is being revived, and let's hear them.
Just mark where you want to take it. Char here. Dead.
Beautiful shot from Turley. Good spotting.
We've got to go all the way over here.
Yeah.
They are going back possibly to land a rally point, which they don't have right now. However, Jerry has been hit and he is now down. Khalil has the view to Turley, but he didn't see. And that was a grenade shot, grenade launcher, and Turley is now falling back a little bit more further while Khalil is pushing in. Let's see if Khalil will be able to spot and make a successful flanking attempt. Khalil is now directly looking at the direction. Yep. And Turley is down. Is this the end of the Arc 8mm Blitz flank? It looks like that. I don't see any rallies being placed. So let's go back to the starting cap and let's see what happened over here. We can see more Arc players are present.
Grenadiers probably
However,
the bridge.
we can now expect that the mortar team is back. Yep, the Old Knight mortar team can now safely work on their mortar targeting rather than being afraid of getting flanked. We do have 2 players of 8mm over here, which is possibly that they got shot by Cleanmans or by the info of Cleanmans given for the mortars. Warehouse cap is looking a little bit more emptier, so I believe it's time that Arc, 8mm and Blitz decided to push for the cap zone. They know they need more tickets than Old Knights in this second game to win the match of this closing game of Group B, which is the decider game for the first, second and third place of this group. Let's go quickly through the scoreboards and see how everything is looking for both teams. We can see Varys playing a very active game, 12-6-16. And let's see from Arc and 8mm side, we have the Zac with 8-5, we have DVD 8-8, great plays from those 2 players. We have Cheese 2.0, 10-6-14, another great play from this individual player. I'm trying to look for Cory. He's with 1-0-2 with the vehicle, despite this great performance in the first game. It looks like he's having a little bit of trouble spotting and finding a good sweet spot for himself. I wonder where he is right now. I can't see. I saw him out of his vehicle at the beginning of the game, so it might have been that he might not be fancy using irregular militia vehicles that much, more than his Canadian equivalent in this Mestia map. We do have the mortars of Old Knight dropping in on top of Bosch, Smiley and Cheese, barely missing. Bosch was a little bit hurt, it doesn't affect too much. And we can see the Old Knight pushed back the assault of Arc players on the most southern foresty side of this cap. I can hear more shots taken and we basically see Cory with his BRDM. So now we know where he was. We were just flying on top of him while talking about him.
Somebody say something to me directly.
We have Muzzy again in the same place as he was in the opening stages of the game, so we can clearly see him and his squad is playing in the middle section towards tunnel entrance. We do have the Groove from DVI. Is he going to spot him? Muzzy is looking to the southern side. Groove is looking to the western side. They are unaware of each other, even though they're too close to each other. Groove has more chance of spotting. Nope. Muzzy takes a look back and he just doesn't see Groove in that split seconds of turning back. Groove is mostly interested in the western side, while Muzzy is looking to the scenery on the southern side, with Dryceps also looking at the southern side, mostly southern west, let's say. And between these 2 players, uh-oh. That was pretty lucky for Dryceps, we can say, because someone just spotted Muzzy from the other side of this compound, or this bridge, and Dryceps heard these bullets landing there and basically spotted Muzzy and took the kill. We have Bosch from the Arc team pushed all the way to the cap zone, and we can see that he basically killed 2 players. of Old Knights. Now he's just ensuring that there is no one coming up to this cap zone. We have more of Blitz players pushing up. This might be looking bad for the Old Knight team, since it looks like they are now losing the cap zone control with most of their players on the southern hillside of the cap, which doesn't look too good because now they need to maneuver back to the north to the cap zone to cover this area and take back the control. Mozzarella, Zach, and Aquila. They are proceeding in. We can see Zami taking a defense line where Bosch is trying to push. They're both really close, but they are being basically separated by a piece of rock and grass over the area. Now we can see Zami is trying to go to the western side. Bosch is going for the push, but Zami is no longer there. Let's see how this will go. We can also see Zami is trying to spot Mozzarella and Zach. He will probably see them in a moment. Yep. However, we have now Bosch from the other side. Knows exactly where he is, but Bosch doesn't mind. However, Zami has taken down. We do have Joker taking shots from across the bridge, but they also do have enemies really close to them. We have Mozzarella, and we had Rad pushing on them. However, now Joker should know that there is an enemy presence really close. Is he aware? He is not. We have again another Old Knight player pushing to the same area and finally takes Mozzarella up. After Mozzarella's amazing performance on the region, he took 3 kills as far as I was able to see in the same region. Well played from Mozzarella. Now we do have Zach and Betoni in a close combat. Zach wins this fight.
I'm sending Corey to help with warehouse.
Let's see again what's happening in the cap zone. We do have a lot of casualties to the western side of the cap. Blitz push has been kind of reverted, but now I can see Bosch, which he ignored Zami a minute ago, on the radio. And now you can hear. Now you can hear in the command chat. I don't think this radio will hold too much. We have the Canadian artillery going on. Let's see if it will make any damage on the team of Blitz. Are an 8-man. Aquila is in a little bit of a risky spot. Aquila is being taken down. Other than that, let's see if someone is in the zone of threat. Looks like no. So it's an artillery asset used on 1 infantry. However, if you think about it, now the Old Knight players know that this place is empty, cleared out, so they can focus on other angles, positions of the map. We can see Macro Ilale going to Aquila to revive him. We have a lot of casualties from Old Knight side. I can see Cheese 2.0 is down, and I can see an Arc player trying to revive his fallen teammate, but Narek is on the scene very close. Is he going to hear? No, he does not hear, but he is looking directly at them. And Sven Steerer gets the kill.
Shoot it, just shoot it. I will run out.
We can see more work of Bosch targeting the hab now. the radio position and the hab position is now being known by Arc, ATMM and Blitz side, which will be an open target on the hab with the mortars. And Bosch takes another kill. Now we can see Eloran 20.
I'm on the way.
He is trying to give a look from the hab side, but the mortars are being kicked in. It's really hard to focus on firing and aiming while the mortars are going down. We have a nade going into the hab, barely missing. Sorry for that camera angle.
Keep shooting.
Bosch missed the grenade, but it doesn't matter in long term because this hab is destroyed with the mortar shots
Under the bridge.
in a couple of seconds, I believe. We can see one of the players of Old Knight is down on the hab and the other one is trying to hold the hab with the shovel. We have more players coming from Old Knights to protect this hab. They know the presence of the enemy. Apparently, the DVI champ was more interested in using the tow other than eliminating this enemy. Another close combat. Bosch still plays and kills the enemy players of his team around. The hab is still being mortared. Bosch is still present in the area. We can see Arc Turley and Arc Jerry back in the eastern zone with Martiu, their Arc's basically flanking squad. A drone strike hit it. We can basically say that this radio will shortly go off. What is more interesting is that maybe they could have used the drone with the explosive on the radio other than the tow itself. I don't know how important that tow was for the Arc Blitz and ATMM side, but they had the info in the with the radio and the mortars were used for the hab. I didn't quite see why that drone was basically targeting the tow, but maybe it was shot by the Old Knight team before it reached the radio. Corey is up with this vehicle again, and Mac takes the shot and destroys his vehicle. Let's go back to the cap zone. I can see a lot of Blitz players down. I can see Farah down from the Old Knights. Varys is going through a rally, which is probably going to be
Enemy artillery. Artillery
gone.
ready on the enemy.
Yes, it
Okay,
did.
one stage down.
We do have more players of Blitz and 8mm again in the warehouse with the active mortars. Let's see what Cleansman is doing. Cleansman is on his way up in the main exits of militia team, and he is placing some mines over here. It will be hard to catch if someone basically is going to hit to that landmine, but I will try to keep an eye on that part. We do have 13 minutes and 25 seconds left in this game, with Old Knight's advantage of 23 tickets. It was keep changing for that split second. And the first game was won by Old Knights around 40 tickets. I don't know exactly how much it was, probably 39 or 38. We need to check it back from the official Discord page of the tournament. However, if you were a good viewer and keeping track of the scoreboard, then you would know, basically. We have more mortars of Arc, 8mm and Blitz bombarding down this place. I can't see the hab anymore. So there is no active respawn point of Old Knight players anymore in that region. However, it is still, we can say that it's still a little bit tough, I guess, for the Arc, 8mm and Blitz guys to proceed to the cap, which was basically what they achieved in their first round is now being played similarly by their rivals. Faro is taking some shots. He might die to bleeding out in a momentarily time. He probably died to bleed out. I heard some shots from the up region. We can see Rod is now flanking towards the two players of Arc.
How? How was he so close and I didn't hear him?
RVU mortars.
I don't know if it was self-criticism or a complaint to the developers of Squad, because sometimes I'm also having some harsh time hearing other players around me. However, it was a little bit unfortunate on the revive scene to be flanked like that. Well played from Rat, from Old Knights. Svensterer is now on the scene, searching for Rat, but Rat already backed up and going more far to the western side. Let us see.
My mortars, my wood marks.
I don't see any mines. Nope, there still exists this mine. And we can see a rally of Old Knights in the far deep, close to the main side of militia team. We can see that a mortar player, Alpagox, was taken down, and his mortar was also destroyed, so I assume it was a counter mortar shot from the Old Knights. Let's go back to the northern side a little bit. I still feel bad that I don't check this north side players that oftenly. I'm so sorry, but it looks like nothing is being going on in here. It's not an active cap 1. I'm not saying it's not an important thing to play around here, because once you have the northern advantage, these places, then you have basically the advantage of the viewpoints, which you can look through the southern cap. However, if you put too many people in here, then you lack your position, or you lack your forces on the southern cap. So it's a trade-off when it comes to playing in the northern sides. It looks like both players, both sides of this game, they basically selected to have more forces in the southern side, and a couple of squads, like one squad with 5 players, 2 players, keeping the northern side. We can see the DVI holding the towers of 2 with Tabs, Groove and Triceps. I think Triceps and Groove were pretty much in this tower from the beginning of the game. We have 8 minutes and 22 seconds left on the ending of this game. We can see that the ticket difference is a little bit growing. It was 23 before. More mortars are being targeted on the warehouse. Both teams started to play a slower pace. I can assume that the Old Knight
Make sure you get ammo.
eventually
Need ammo.
trying to slow down the game by not advancing and just putting some defense lines. And the Arc and 8mm and Blitz side, they are trying to basically minimize their ticket loss. However,
Tow set up.
they need to cap this zone, or do something with their flank squads to revert this ticket difference. Dark Knight pushes up to brick Schalke and takes the kill. We had a message from 8mm team. They have a tow, don't push, but their tow is being taken down to town user. We still have the Old Knight mortars up, and we do have another, again, squad 4 of Turley. Corey, this time, joining the squad 4, pushing to the mortars and this radio. We just heard from Turley that they will go for the radio, and we can see the Jerry already in the radio. We have a very close... Let's see what's happening in here. He's just chilling next to the radio. We have a rally of the All Night team very close to the radio, but Jerry is playing it safe, waiting for his own team to reach to the radio space so he can be secured while digging down the radio. More shots. Martiu, I think, was shooting down to where, let's see, to the uphill where there was this tow players. Yep, exactly where he's aiming at. He doesn't have too much of an angle. Agent Kowalski and Saslan is safe up over there. We have heard mortars are hitting good. We have Rulis on the hub taking down. And Jerry, maybe now, he started to know. He is still waiting for his teammates to come up and secure this land. I can see Agent Kowalski is on the move to his mortars, and he's taking shots from Martiu or Corey. He has been taken down. Surly is on his way to his teammate, Jerry. And let's see what is happening on the cap zone. Not too much we can say. The defense line of Old Knight is still up here. We do have some Arc and Blitz players trying to advance, but let's see how this radio will be saved or destroyed. This was 20 tickets, which is quite important at this stage for Arc, 8mm and Blitz. Jerry is digging down the radio. Where is Turley? Turley is up on the rocks having a protection, and I can only see Saslan trying to approach, but Turley, I think, has more of a better spot because he has Corey looking after him, giving the info necessary on the wheel. Is the radio down already? Is it bleeding out? Yes, the radio is in bleed out stage. We have Champ and Martiu getting close to each other, but Corey probably sees Champ and giving a necessary info to Martiu. Martiu was down. There is Turley. Jerry has been killed. Rulis didn't want to save the radio. Why? Probably Rulis is a squad leader. Yes, he is. He cannot change his kit. So he was basically helpless at that and hopeless at that point. He was the only survivor from the All Night team to save this radio, and the radio is being taken down by the team of flankers of Arc. We still have, however, All Night advantage in tickets. They're more or less equal, with 7 tickets difference only, with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the game. So
We've got the radio. Oh shit. We've got the radio. Stop. Okay.
So Arc, Blitz and 8mm still lacks some tickets for the overall points to win this game.
But they're reviving. They're reviving. Mortar.
Squad 6.
And I was checking the ticket difference of the first game. It was 37 tickets. And now we do have a ticket difference of 8. Now 7. With the advantage of Alt Knights. So Blitz, Arc and 8mm desperately needs some tickets to win this game. We do have Jerry alive, Turley alive, and we do have a couple of Alt Knight players down. However, we do have 1 minute left. I'm not really sure if these will count on tickets. Similar to the first round, we are at the ending of the second round, which means players are acting more slowly. They will not be revived. They will not give up if they are dead. And it pretty much looks like dead, very, very slow-paced game. 20 seconds left. We can basically say unofficially Alt Knights won this game, but obviously we need to wait for the official.
Are we gonna get a Jerry Raw?
We can see in the chat a lot of GGs, and this round 2 is ended with 104 tickets of Alt Knights and Arc, 8mm and Blitz with 95 tickets, which means overall Alt Knights won the round. I was not even able to go through the scoreboard. However, it is basically the end of this game. I would like to thank to the Squad Open Tournament managers and basically anyone, referees, players, anyone who was involved in this tournament. This was the ending game of the Group B, and the other games were also being played in the same time. So this means this week was the ending of the group phases in Squad Open Tournament. In the next weeks, we will have the playoffs being played depending on the positions of the how teams were placed in their groups. I cannot tell you, sadly, who is now having the first place, second place, or the third place in the Group B. Be sure to follow the Discord channel and the announcements of Squad Open Tournament to see exactly how it will roll. Let's go back to the group standings. We can see Arc, 8mm and Blitz had 6 points. And Alt Knights had 3 points. Now that Alt Knights won this round, we can basically say that they are equal in points. Black Owls and Flying Llamas, they won against EMAN this noon time. So we do have 3 teams with the same 6 points. So this will be decided mostly on the ticket count, and I have no idea which team has how many tickets at the end. So check out the Discord of Squad Open Tournament. I am wishing you a great evening and hope to see you all in another game of me casting Squad Open Tournament. Take care, see ya, wishing you all a good Sunday and good night.